Alright guys, MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and the people have asked God himself to make another tier list because I posted a video a few days ago on YouTube talking about Jin, and people said, you don't think Devil Jin is the best character anymore? You must redo your entire tier list! Because on my last tier list, Devil Jin was seen as the best character, but I've changed my mind, so everyone wants to see a new official tier list for Tekken 7. And people said, should we ask Ni? Should we ask JDCR? Arslan Ash? No, let's ask Main Man. So we get the definitive list once and for all. So I'm gonna start with, and as you see here, there's gonna be a lot of detail. Top tier at the top, low tier at the bottom, and then well-rounded towards the right. So if it's towards me, it means it's well-rounded, handsome, and smart. And if it's to the left, it's probably a Lei, you know, a smelly dumpster fire. So I'm just gonna start real quickly by putting Jin at the top. Because in my opinion, this is the best character in the game, and he is also perfectly well-rounded. The only thing Jin has lacking are some range issues on some moves. But then he has forward 4, forward 4 2, dash electric, back to 1, you fucking name it. This character has no flaws in my opinion. The only problem a Jin player has is the problem a 14-year-old girl has when she's gonna go on her first date and she says, oh my god, these jeans are so sexy, but these jeans are also so sexy. Oh god, I have 8 pair of jeans, they're all so sexy, which one should I use? That can happen to a Jin player. This move is godlike, this move is godlike, this move is also so good, which one should I use? And they lose themselves. They're like, they can't pick what godlike move to use. And then they freeze up and you might actually be able to win, you know, pressure them a little bit. But yeah, hope for the Jin to confuse himself, you know. Jin is the best character in my opinion. I'm gonna place him here. And then I would like to talk a little bit to Devil Jin, who is... both of these characters are so perfect. So what I mean here is that I feel Jin is a little better, but we're talking about tiny differences here. They're both kind of perfect. They're both so well-rounded, but Devil Jin has the better 50-50, and Jin has the better pressure, parry, defensive capabilities overall, I would say, with the safe up for 2 as panic move. And I saw a lot of people say, Jin doesn't have panic moves, that's a weakness. Yeah, except up for 2, hop kick, back 1 into 1+2. It's like, he has panic moves, believe me. So, that's the start. And then top 3 in my opinion is Jin, Devil Jin, and Steve. Steve got a lot of buffs in Season 2 he shouldn't have received. He was already very strong. But this is a character that absolutely has faults. Although Steve prior to Tekken 7 had way more obvious faults than Tekken 7 Steve. Tekken 7 Steve, suddenly he has decent standing launchers, like back to orbital. Oh, you want to break a turtle? Blue spark guard break? The lows are suddenly quite safe? It's like, what happened? They always want Steve to be awesome at Bandai Namco. I don't know what this is. They must really like boxers. But Steve... This is gonna be difficult with the well-rounded has faults. He is very flexible though these days. But he absolutely has faults. I'm gonna put him in the middle. but he's very strong. Still relies a lot on counter hits. So absolutely has faults, but a lot of it was fixed going to Tekken 7, so we'll put him in the middle. Not as strong as Jin and Devil Jin, but definitely up there. And now for contrast, the worst character in the game is Gigas. And this almost doesn't have to be explained. Gigas is pretty much completely useless. He has a huge hitbox, can't sidestep, he has no panic moves to save him, most of his moves are very sluggish and slow to get going, doesn't really crush anything, no abusable strings, his strings are kinda shit, his combos are awkward and bad. Oh, and you'd think, oh, he's huge, he probably has a great throw game. No. King, great throw game. All of the big characters. Marduk, great throw game. Jack, great throw game. King, Armor King, and then Gigas. Everyone thought when they saw his design, like, oh, he's gonna be a grappler. He has a good 1+2 throw, but that's it. And everyone who knows what they're doing are gonna break that throw every time. Gigas is the worst character in Tekken 7 by a mile. And after that, second worst character in my opinion, although Negan here has joined the battle, literally has joined the fight. But I do want to find Lars. Lars is the second worst character in the game in my opinion. Anna is also very, very bad. But Lars, as I've explained in a couple of videos, is super vulnerable to people who step him towards the right. His down for 2 is gone. His down for 2-1 is very risky, although it does track to his weak side. His lows are huge risk, but pretty big reward. His full crouch down for 1-2, you know, that double hit, it's only +1 on hit. It's like he just doesn't have momentum building lows. And good luck running in, doing a full crouch into a low. It's so risky. He's so risky to play. You can't stay safe. But does he have good punishment? He does. But that's not going to be enough in this game. That's very poking oriented. So Lars, unfortunately, my Swedish brother, you're fucked. Oh wait, Gigas, well-rounded, has faults. Definitely has faults. Definitely has faults. Lars has got good punishment. Offense doesn't work though. Yeah, it's like Gigas is almost here. We'll do this. And then Anna, it's almost a bit like Lars, where high risk, high reward, but she will actually launch you with the lows. But a lot of good highs, mids, not so good. Very bad hitboxes, combos are dropped left and right, inconsistent to say the least, and incredibly difficult to play safe. Also a very bad character, but I'm gonna say better than Lars. I'm gonna put her there, I guess. Okay, so I think we're done with... Oh no, the trash continues. Negan! Oh my goodness, you were supposed to be a god. I loved you in The Walking Dead, and then you're released for Tekken and everything just feels lackluster. So Negan, enormous trouble with tracking, very sluggish strings, a lot of the key moves are above 20 frames. Back 1+2, the big vertical swing is 22 frames, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, no knockdown lows. No throws except 1+2. super unsafe. Super unsafe. He's terrible. But now the question is he more well-rounded than Lars? Probably. He probably is. Is he better than Lars though? I would say he's more well-rounded than Lars. Negan has some mids and some lows. And homing. I'm just gonna leave him there for now. Now, Eliza, in my character difficulty tier list, I said she was very easy to play, and she is. There is some execution. I read some very angry Eliza main comments on my YouTube. You guys were very, very upset with your dad. And I'm gonna give it to you guys that of course there's some execution. But you also have like 45... You forgot to mention in your comment post there that she has no cheese, no cheese, I promise. Except for 5 snake edges, you know, 45 hit strings, hop kicks. A snake edge where she jumps into it. It's like, come on guys, can't we just be a little bit honest with ourselves? You know. But she's easy to play, but she's a terrible character. If an Eliza player goes up against someone who knows the matchup, GG pretty much. She's so incredibly unsafe. And I don't think we can call her well-rounded at all. Although I'm absolutely no expert on this character. I almost feel like dumpstering the character, but I'll let her stay. She got a pretty face. Oh god, that was cringe. I should go back to cringe intro instead of cringe interlude. But guys, honestly, Twitch chat, help me here. Well, she's not strong, that much I know, but is she well-rounded or... No, she has faults. You know what? I'm gonna do the Holy Trinity there. I'll just... We're gonna stay there. And... Alisa, Dumpster. Kazuya, my boy. Let's check out Kazuya. A lot of people don't understand that Kazuya is very, very good in Season 2. They think he is like A tier and not S tier. But he is... he's incredibly strong in Season 2. He still has the weakness in that his pressure is rather weak. It can be really good if you have incredible execution to do wave dashes into while standing 4 super easily, you know, and you electric like breathing. So Kazuya is very, very strong, but he absolutely has faults, but he's pretty well rounded, I would say, though. He's very, very strong in Season 2. A lot of people underestimate this character. But he's no Steve. For now, I'm gonna keep him there. He's way more well... Yeah, Heihachi is super interesting. A lot of people think Season 2 Heihachi is a monster. But it's like... Again, yes, his mids are crazy. And with the lows, absolutely. He now has an unseeable sweep that goes into a forward 4-2, but you still have to run in, and it's kind of telegraphed, you know, where you do a full crouch and then you do the sweep. And you can mix that up. You can do a full crouch mix-up with while standing 1 or some other mid, maybe while standing 4 if you want to keep it more safe. But it's still not very good that you're chunky low, that you gotta run in and duck to do it. And it's super high risk. Sure, your opponent eats a sweep into forward 4-2, but you eat way more damage if they block it and launch you. I mean, you're fucked. So Heihachi still has big trouble with the lows, and his punishment, if you block a low, this is no trouble to JDCR, you know, blocking a snake edge and then crouch cancel electric, but a lot of people have trouble with that, so there are some holes in the punishment game as well, although his punishment is good. So this is a flawed character, but still a very strong character, but he's no Kazuya. So we'll put him here. That's gonna be a little bit preliminary. I might move Heihachi there instead a little bit. Let's see, Akuma. This is super interesting. Akuma is very strong, but we need Geese. Where's Geese? You can't talk about Akuma without having Geese right next to him. These two characters are the 2D characters, and everyone hates them. But there's a big difference between them. Akuma, it relies much more on meter to do crazy things. He's much more Street Fighter, where he has... he relies more, you know, on those jumps, a little more gimmicky. I mean, Geese is also gimmicky, but Akuma relies a little bit more on weird things, like jumping, EX Shoryuken, you know, invincible, the power crush. Whereas Geese is a little bit more like a Tekken character with a strong counter hit game. Down for 2, standing 4, down 4, dick jab into combo on counter hit. He's a little bit more of a Tekken character. So I would say if these guys have no meter, Geese is much scarier, but if they have meter, Akuma is a scarier character, but this requires an Akuma player with incredible execution or a hitbox. So it's kind of hard actually to place these two, because one of these is much stronger with meter and the other one not so much. So, god damn it, Akuma is strong, but he's not as strong as Geese. Geese has weaknesses, but he's pretty well rounded. I mean, the thing is, Geese has obvious flaws, but he's so fucking strong. Geese is definitely top tier. I mean, I can't believe you're actually questioning that. He's super fucking good. Okay, well, we'll put Akuma there. Oh, wait. He's not well-rounded at all. Oh, God. This is hard. Something like that, perhaps? No, he's not stronger than Kazuya, in my opinion. Yeah, Akuma is not well-rounded at all. I agree. It's just, how well-rounded is he compared to Heihachi? I'll put him there for now. Sergei Dragunov is a very strong character. He's well-rounded. He has some issues with the lows, but not big issues. Down 2, slide, snake edge, down 4, down 3. Very well-rounded character. Maybe here? And very strong. I'll put him there. Hwoarang is a pretty flawed character, although not as much as he used to be. In Season 2 they fixed... No, wait, in Tekken 7 overall they fixed quite a bit. Season 2 Hwoarang, they've increased the pressure of the character. He has higher pressure potential, especially from Flamingo, but they sacrificed... some of his combo damage was sacrificed, although he still does a lot of damage. But still, his standing punishment is pretty lackluster. He has no knockdown. His 15 frame launcher down for 2. No, wait. Back 3 is also a 15 frame launcher, is it not? Or no, is it 16? God damn it. I know his standing punishment is not that good. Oh, it's 17. Yeah, exactly. So that much I knew. For 15, you have down for 2, which has pretty shit range. Standing punishment is not warring. Punishment overall is weak. Pressure is good, of course. To be honest, a pretty flawed character. But good pressure, good keep out, good damage. Juggling is great. But this is not a very strong character. I'm gonna leave him here for now. Paul is quite well-rounded. Great punishment. Really underrated by a lot of people. Amazing punishment. And pretty good offense. A little bit sluggish in the neutral, but once he gets up the steam, the pace, he's amazing. His 50-50 is amazing, his combos are amazing, Rage Art, cancel, completely unique, incredibly strong. Paul is a strong character. He's not as well-rounded as Dragonov though. He has troubles in the low area, with Demo Man being very backdashable. Quarter Circle forward 3 is a pretty good low, but what is it, like minus 13? Minus 14? We'll leave him there. Law is super fucking strong, actually. And he's very well rounded. Law is... We're gonna have to change up a little bit here. Law is insanely good. Insanely good and well-rounded. It's like, oh, Law's punishment could be better, Harada. Give him a 3+4 launch from entire stage away. And suddenly he has 3+4, which is the best 14 frame launcher in the game. I mean, can anyone name a better whiff punish tool or a better punishment tool than Law 3+4? I don't know a better punishment tool. No, Electric is not as good. Electric is hard. Law, you press one button if you bind it. One button, here, this trigger here. Bam! 14 frame launcher. Bam! Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, good luck having an Electric compete with a one button launcher 14 frame. That has enormous range. That move is busted, to be honest. Remove it now. Nerf Law, remove that goddamn bullshit. I mean, the character with some of the best pressure in the game has arguably the best Punisher in the game. Yay! Well done. Well done, Bandai Namco. So he's gonna be there. Dumpster for the El Mako, who's always very joyful and heavy and big boned. And Nina should get the Dumpster because Nina mains are such children. But we will talk about Nina. So of course, not as difficult as Nina mains like to say. She's as hard as rocket science. Well, rocket science while having french fries shoved into your anus. I didn't come up with that. A Nina player wrote that to me. Didn't make any sense to me. Probably doesn't make any sense to you. But yeah. So again, she's not as difficult as people like to say. But at high level, she is difficult because a lot of her strings are have a lot of openings. She's very vulnerable, and it's a bit like Anna, where you have a lot of great lows. You have great highs. A lot of Nina's key tools are high, but in the mid area, it suddenly becomes much harder with Nina. And again, if people know the matchup, it's like you struggle quite a bit because of how vulnerable she puts herself. And again, with the highs, quarter circle forward 1, great frames. Forward 3, great frames. But again, those are duckable. But overall, she's pretty all around. But you can't say she's top tier. You just can't. But I think if you have a perfect player playing Nina, I think she's pretty strong. But is she more well-rounded than Paul? Now it's very difficult. Her punishment is quite weak. Down for 2, bad range. While standing 2, bad range. I mean, she has the pressure, but does she have the punishment? And the mids are not that good, to be honest. No, she's not as well-rounded as Paul or Geese. This one is difficult. Brian. Oh, you want me to move a dumpster? Let's see. Lily. Dumpster! Fuck you. Asuka. Dumpster! I love the female characters, guys. Come on. I ain't no bigot. But Asuka, easiest character in the game. Piece of wood I found in the forest could play Asuka. I'm not kidding. I filmed it. I'm gonna upload it soon. It's kind of cool, actually. It was a very old piece of bark, as we say in Sweden. It fell off a tree, like. But it could play Asuka perfectly. Got Tekken God Prime. I saw Squirrel also get Tekken God Prime. Asuka is literally the most Unga Boonga character could be in Tekken. I mean, she's so easy. I mean, okay, you have Katarina as well. But they made the mistake of buffing her too much in Season 2. So not only do you have the best keep-out tools in the game, pretty much, but you have strong offense. What's her low? Is it down back 4? Or down back 3? And then forward 3 or forward 4. Those two moves got ridiculous buffs, but in my opinion she shouldn't have gotten those buffs. So Asuka is actually unfortunately rather strong these days. And she is... How well-rounded is this character? Pretty okay. Yeah, she's definitely stronger than Nina. I'm just thinking like how well-rounded is the character. Okay, we'll just leave her there. Xiaoyu is very strong. Very, very, very strong. But her punishment is not that good. Oh no, I forgot about Brian. Thanks, guys. Brian is strong, but he's... But this is a character that is harder to use when he is strong. But the greatest example of difficulty netting not so great rewards is Lee. These two characters are both highly unconventional, and they're the complete opposite of straightforward to play. Lee, however, both of these require a lot of execution. It's like with Brian, people are like, why does that character have a taunt? Where does it fit into his game design? And it's like, well, you have a Snake Edge. At green ranks, people start blocking your Snake Edge, and you're like, okay, And now, he doesn't fear my Snake Edge. What do I have to break him down with if he's just guarding? You don't really have froze. You only have 1+2 break froze and normal froze. You don't have a throw mix-up like Dragunov. So then it's like, okay, I have other lows, I guess, to make him duck. The hatchet kick is pretty good, but there's some execution here. People underestimate how hard it is to do quarter circle back 3 quickly in succession in the middle of a match where you're perhaps a bit stressed. Or, you know, running into it. Or stepping into it. There's more execution to that than people think. And as hatchet is not that scary in the end, it's not so scary that you're suddenly gonna duck a character who has these incredible mids. This is where the taunt comes in. Oh, you'll not duck me? Hatchet kick isn't scary enough? Dash into taunt. Fuck you, you're dead. So at high level of play, you need the taunt, and the taunt is very, very difficult. We all know how tight the timing is on that. And Lei, of course, same thing. If you run into him, if you play Lei's game, run into him, back 4, magic 4, he has some of the best keep out. But again, if you hold up your guard like this, it's like Lei players scratch their heads and then they drop the character and play Katarina. Well, a lot of them. There are a lot of you stick with Lei. But suddenly the game becomes very, very complicated. And the problem with Lei is that once you do get that launch, you better have godlike execution to get some damage. Because if you do not have the execution with this character, you'll get 45 damage from a hop kick. And I'm not kidding. There's no damage if you do not have execution. This is where Nina players like to say, you must do butterfly combo to get the damage. And I'm like, no. You can use the butterfly to get 80 damage. But with Nina, even with shit execution, you'll get some damage. But with Lei, no damage. No damage unless you have execution. So these two characters are very interesting. Lei got a lot of buffs for season 2, but every buff was like, oh god, okay, I need to be a robot. You know, down 3 counter hit, perfect timing, hitman cancel, back 3 free to float them. And oh, back 4 launch is a launcher now. Oh, but you gotta dash into a back 3 free perfectly. Upward 3-4 is a launcher, back 3-3. Gotta time it perfectly. It's like everything is just... How are you supposed to play Lei in a tournament if you're like slightly stressed and sweating? Like, I can't believe I made it to top 8. Oh, I'm kind of stressed. Oh, well, you've lost. It's like, oh, you're gonna land all of that shit. It's like Lei... I mean, unless you're, I'm your father, I guess. But in a perfect world, you know, if someone had perfect execution, this character actually goes quite far. That 10 frame punish, you know, acid rain, 45 damage, the combos, the launchers. If you can hit that back 3-3 every time, you know, he would be up here. But realistically, he's just not, because you're not gonna land that shit flawlessly. So unfortunately, he's too unreliable, and that's always been Lei's problem in Tekken 7. And well-rounded, I can't call Lei well-rounded. Obvious flaws. But I'm gonna say he's stronger than Hwoarang. Maybe here. Leo Kleisen. I keep forgetting he's a dude. He's a guy. They've said in the game that he has a cock. Literally, I'm not making it up. He is very strong. But no one plays him because he's so fucking boring. When was the last time you saw Leo online? 1995? He's strong. And he's quite well-rounded. He's more well-rounded than Paul, to be honest. I'll place him there for now. Yoshimitsu has faults. That's his surname. He's top tier though. God damn, it's impossible to defend against this character. No, but his party bullshit is stronger than people think. He's gonna end up there. Feng Wei. Feng Wei reminds me a little bit of Jin, where you look at the move list and there are plenty of amazing moves. Plenty of them. But many of Feng's moves are a little bit more specific. Whereas Jin can just throw forward 4 and standing 4 and kind of get away with that. The Feng Wei player, while he has a lot of amazing moves, just like Jin, they are a little bit more tailor-made for specific situations. This makes Feng Wei hard to play. It's very complicated. But he has a lot of great tools. He's got a lot of great mids, a lot of great lows. There are some range issues, especially on a lot of vital mid moves. But overall, he's a strong character. And he's quite well-rounded. Of course, there are some safety issues with the character, especially on the lows. I forgot Brian again. God damn it. Wait. Oh my god, I'm fucking up. Kazuya is supposed to be higher on this list. Wait. I gotta make sure to have this done well now. Steve should be here. That's Kazuya. No, Xiaoyu is stronger than Kaz. No, is she? No, Kazuya is stronger in my opinion. Heihachi there. Okay, Brian. Brian is complicated. He is a strong character, but he's not as strong as he is difficult, which always is a problem in my opinion. Well, I mean, that kind of says itself.
If we want to live in a different world.
God damn it. Well-rounded. Is Brian well-rounded? Lack of safe mid, quite quick safe mid poke to keep people in check. Brian doesn't have that. Brian has no good 12 frame punish. You have a jet upper for 14 frames. And then it's everything I said before about trying to break turtles. Brian has it much easier if people try and attack him. But he's quite well-rounded. This is super difficult. And he's better than Nina. Fudge. Okay, I'm quite happy with that placement, to be honest. God, every character is so good in this game. King is a fucking monster. Very underestimated character in season 2. He's a fucking monster. And he's quite well-rounded. King is super good. King is super good. We'll do this. We can see his eyes there. Okay. Jack got a bit nerfed on key areas for Season 2. He's still a good character though. Well-rounded. Well, defense with Jack is backdashing in 9 million miles per hour because sidestepping is difficult. Panic moves are forward too, but nothing that involves a lot of crushing. Keep out is great with down forward 2. Poking is excellent with, you know, full crouch, down back 1, down forward 1, forward 1. Most reliable wall combo in the game, but also a shitload of damage. You got great throws. Homing is not so good though, right? With Jack. Yeah, his throw game is amazing. So this is a pretty well-rounded character, although the lack of panic tools and the difficulty of defending, that hurts the character. Yeah, the whole, exactly, no fucking homing. Although forward 1 used to, due to the forward dash, realign a lot, you know, and catch sidesteppers. But for Season 2, they removed a lot of tracking on the move. And they nerfed the damage. So it's like, yay, finally that move was so brain dead. But Jack is stronger than Nina. Can you guys see Jack? Katarina is the easiest character in the game. Risky character for sure, but wow, will she carry Forsen to goddamn Tekken God Prime in like 7 days if you just give her 7 days. Moscow. And now this is where I have to explain with this tier list here is that I did a difficulty tier list. This is a character strength tier list. So here I take for granted that these are pro players, really fucking good players. And to be honest, in all fairness, Lei should be here compared to Katarina. Because 1 in 1,000 players will do better with Lei than he does with Katarina. And he will do better with Lei than a great player does with Katarina, in my opinion. Lei is just stronger if the player is great. But the player has to be just at such a insanely great level to be able to accomplish that. So take it with a grain of salt when I put Lei higher than Katarina, because this is a reality for 1 in 1,000. But when that 1 in 1,000 plays Lei, he's stronger than Katarina. In my opinion. In my opinion. Claudio is so fucking boring. Yes, I'm happy. Kazumi is super well-rounded, super good. damn, this is difficult. I'll put her here. Shaheen. Who is Shaheen? I don't know a thing about Shaheen. Yeah, he has a slide mid mix up like Law. He's a very fundamental character. If you see low high play him, it's all about fundamentals. Okay, there we go, Shaheen. Dumpster. Josie. Josie is strong. Very spammy. Where'd you put Josie? Except for in the dumpster. Eddie was much easier to play in Tag 2 than he is in Tekken 7. In Tekken 7 it's much harder. You don't get away with shit as easily in this game. So Eddie is kind of difficult, I would say, in this game. Eddie gets more shit than he deserves, to be honest. He can't cheese, but in Tag 2 you could cheese for free. In this game you gotta think at least a little bit, you know? I mean, you're not solving a Rubik's Cube while playing Eddie, but you're for sure counting fingers or something. You're doing something, you know? In Tag 2 you were literally doing nothing. So Eddie... where the fuck do you... Where do you put him? He has faults. He's definitely a flawed character. A lot of moves are locked behind stances. Just fucking put him there. Master Raven. That's a dumpster. Kuma. Where the fuck do you put Kuma? Put him there. Master Raven. I mean, you see how balanced this game is? You see how fucking balanced it is now that you get the official fucking tier list? Wait, where did he go? Oh, Raven. Raven. Where do you put Raven? Sweet ass Raven. I don't know. I don't know shit about Raven, to be honest. I know she has a sword. Dumpster. Miguel. Let's see, Miguel got enormous buffs for season 2. Savage Stance is Savage Stance went from a flawed stance to a completely brain dead stance due to the down for 2 huge uppercut being made super hard to punish and actually safe against a lot of characters. And his damage is crazy. His poking is really good. There are some range problems, but people exaggerate the Miguel T-Rex arms thing. The range doesn't have that many problems with range. The most he has trouble with is 2-1. Miguel is fucking strong, to be honest, in Season 2. In Season 1 he was super lackluster, but now he's really good. His Magic 4, super reliable, enormous combo. Miguel is good. Good keep out, good pressure, a lack of throws. Mix-ups are great with the strings and the Savage. I said good keep out, right? Magic 4, forward 4. Hop kick is great. Yeah, he's definitely better than Claudio. I'm just looking at where I should put him. He's better than Nina. To be honest, he's pretty up there, isn't he? Maybe it should be a little bit more like this. Oh no, no! What? I can... Okay. Noctis. Noctis is probably the strongest, one of the strongest scrub killers or beginner killers in the game. Super easy to play, but this is a very, very, very flawed character. If you pressure this character, he completely crumbles. He's an artillery piece. Think of a siege tank in StarCraft. If you stand far away from that siege tank, oh, you're in trouble. If you're standing right next to the siege tank, it can't do anything. And that's basically Noctis, easily explained. Suddenly, the aura that is pretty much homing from a few steps away, if you stand right next to him, no tracking. And his homing moves are kind of garbage and slow, punishable. His down for 2 panic move is -20. And just to seal the deal, and an obvious design choice by Bandai Namco, he does not have a dick jab. That very quick tool to get you out of trouble, that character does not have a dick jab. Think about that next time you're pressuring him with Huarang. Like, so this is a very flawed character. But is he strong? He's pretty strong in Season 2. Full crouch down for 2 is actually a really good low in Season 2. It's homing and it's like +3, I think. I think the character has a lot of potential though, in the end. I mean, Noctis punishment is really good. The down for 2 is one of the best 15 frame punishers in the game, if you ask me. It will hit any -15 move. I don't think he's better than Nina in the end. Lee is better than Nina though. Let's see, Marduk is pretty damn strong, although quite flawed character. But he has a lot of things going for him. I'm gonna put him there. And Julia is gonna get dumpstered. That's quite a lot of female characters dumpstered. I'm sorry, waifu lovers. It's just that I just don't give a shit about those characters. Sorry. Sue me. And let's see. Armor King. Armor King is a really cool character, and he's strong. He's pretty well rounded. Got some flaws when it comes to the mids and the utility of a lot of his mids. But he's strong. He's a strong character. Where the fuck do I put him? He's pretty good. I could put him below King. He's not as good as King. Okay, can you all see? Can you all see this? What a clusterfuck. I think we're done. Yeah, it's a bit crowded. Oh, right. Oh, there's someone left down there. Ah! No, but I'm gonna do Lei as well, and this is a sensitive topic to a lot of people because I made a character difficulty video or tier list a few days ago, and Lei players, I thought for 1 second that maybe Nina players were alone. Jin players are kind of salty as well when you talk about their character and like, not the, you know, you don't say the character is a flawless god, you know. Jin players can get a bit salty. Nina players can get very, very, very salty, I learned, because they've heard for 20 years that Nina, only gifted children play Nina. Only people with, tremendous skill play Nina. And then you point out that like a spammy idiot can win with Nina at beginner and intermediate ranks. Just like that. But, and that's obviously true, but yeah, people don't want to hear that. And I've explained that a million times, so I'm not gonna keep bringing that up. But I talked about Lei, and I said that Lei maybe not super difficult. Oh yeah, shitstorm ensues. So yeah, Lei players bombarded me with just as many emails as Nina players telling me what a fucking idiot I am and how Lei is. You need 9 million IQ and more execution than 5 hitboxes welded together by a blacksmith. You know, and I'm like, oh god. So what do you base this on? Oh, you know, and you get a grunt. Let's just say I've had a lot of disappointing emails by Lei players, because I feel like I explained very clearly in my video that sure, you have a lot of attacks, and I agree, you know, this is what I hear the most by Lei players, like, I have to remember 50 attacks, I gotta remember all of them, and I'm like, it's one thing to remember a combination of inputs, but it's something completely different to know how to counter all of those moves. Because suddenly you have to know all of the properties on the moves kind of perfectly. You know, that is much harder. So every time you Lei mains tell me, I have to learn all of these moves, I'm just gonna say, well, you're gonna invert this, you flip it. Your opponent has to deal with all of these moves. That is much harder. It's much, I promise me. No, promise. I promise it is much harder to deal with those. Lei players, you've all fought a Hwoarang you thought was annoying, right? And now you're all doing this. Yeah. Now suddenly you know what I'm talking about. Because that Hwoarang also does Flamingo, and you know how it is, he just keeps doing attacks. Like, ha 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 ha, just like that. And you're probably thinking like, he's just pressing buttons. He is. And again, isn't it hard to defend against those attacks? You're nodding. Yeah. So now you're suddenly starting to understand where I'm coming from. How hard is it with Hwoarang to do these attacks? How hard is it to stand there, block them, and appropriately, at the right time, identifying the strings, doing an appropriate sidestep, or duck, parry, maybe a low parry, you know, or punish. It's like, I'm just hoping, when I'm not talking about the golden child Lei that we all love. I love him just as much as you do. Well, sorry, I don't. But so suddenly, if I talk about Hwoarang, I'm certain you're much more willing to accept my argument that yeah, he's doing attacks and it's hard to counter. Well, it's the exact same thing with Lei. Just that Lei has 20 stances. 20 stances, you know, and 200 moves. And now I see All Times, which is YouTube content creator who plays Lei. He's already salty in my comment section here. You guys can't see it, but it's like people who played this guy, they are a little bit in denial. To be honest. If you played this guy, you probably do a shitload of this. You probably wake up in the morning and you're like, la 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 la, today I gotta remember a lot of moves. La la la. Oh, you know, suddenly you don't remember a thing. Suddenly it's like you've wiped your entire memory and you don't remember how to attack anymore. So less of this and maybe more, you know, look at reality. You know, come back to us here. You know, get off the cloud. Thanks. But Lei, if we're gonna look at him objectively, he's not well rounded. He leaves himself quite, I mean, a general rule fighting Lei is that when he does Razor Rush, it goes into a stance, you can always interrupt him with a quick mid to keep him in check. But of course, this is a little bit hypothetical because he can keep going with the string, you know, and end it. It's up to the Lei player to try and work with strategy here and employ mind games. But someone who knows how to counter Lei, Lei has a hard time. His frames are terrible. And why is this? Why do these guys have terrible frames? Because they have the biggest tool bag in the game. You can't have 200 toys and have all the toys be the most expensive toys. No. Kazuya, he has few toys, but they're very expensive. Lei, he's a greedy fuck. He goes to the store, he wants every toy. But he gets the less expensive toys, you know, made in Taiwan. He picks it up, you know, it's a gummy bear, but it has no arms. And the collar is off. It smells like shit. So that's Lei. So where do we put Lei? I think this might be the best tier list ever. Lei is bad. Lei is bad. No, I'm just kidding. Who am I kidding? It goes right into the fucking dumpster, piece of shit. So that's the tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it's pretty damn good, actually. This could be the official tier list. I'll just post it to YouTube. And you guys give me those comments. Give Daddy those comments. You know, those sweet, sweet tiers.